Nephew, are you on here? Can you hear me?
Jack, what's going on?
All right, there you are. I can hear you good.
Oh, they got me some video finally. There we go.
Oatmeal going?
Oh, I got some eggs.
What we got today is some crazy stuff going on. But hey, the best news is I did not get canceled since I was on here the last time.
Well,
Don't push my luck. Huh?
yeah, don't. I was just about to say that because you never know when you will get canceled nowadays.
That's for sure.
It is if I told, well, actually we'll get started here in a minute, but I was looking at UBS right now and I was thinking to myself, if I told someone that over the weekend Credit Suisse would get slashed, literally slashed, right? And Credit Suisse would be buying them out, forced to buy them out. And that, Credit Suisse is down 56% this morning. And UBS, who bought them out, would be green, would rally $4. Like, what is it rally? About 30% off the lows. I would have said, and then the market and the banks would be up. I would have thought you were crazy. And here we are this morning with the bank's bid.
Yeah, they did a lot of work over the weekend.
Well, I think that's being kindly. And then Goldman Sachs is super underwater on Silicon Valley. They came out and said, basically trying to save the market, saying, the Fed will not raise rates. So, I mean, you really can't believe anything nowadays, but especially you can't believe these wanksters. I mean, not only is it a house of cards, it's a house of lies. Like everything is a lie to the people.
It's dangerous too. It's very dangerous, But here's what I'm thinking. I read this article yesterday by Jason Zweig. It's probably the best thing I've ever read in all year. And the one takeaway I got from it, he says, markets may be signaling that the long cult-like reverence for regulators and central bankers is finally fading. Cult-like reverence for the ability to bail other bankers out is fading. They're losing confidence in these people. And I think that's a great idea. I would have liked to see them fail. We need to have failures, man. We can't be bailing out. Everybody get bailed out when they screw up their own business.
That's how I feel. I feel like it's like let's say you play baseball, right? And you swing at a ball that's in the dirt and you strike out. You fail. They don't say, you know what? You're gonna get 5 strikes and you're out. It's okay. No. You go back to the dugout, you sit down. But now, I mean, look at this move in UBS. Stock printed 15.5. Now it's 18.5 plus.
I tell you what, it's going to go even higher. The biggest gift in this thing was that UBS got all of Credit Suisse's money management business.
Yep.
And that's where the money's at. This one article said that that's probably 3 times more than what UBS paid for it, that little gem of that money management side. It's all fees. So we'll see how that shakes out. But it's too bad. That was such a horribly run bank, Silicon Valley Bank. It should have just faded. Just should have.
When you're and someone mentioned crypto. Yeah, crypto's been having it's up 40% in the past 2 weeks.
Even Coinbase stock. I mean,
yeah, because there's no confidence in the financial system, which I totally understand. I mean, look at the move in crypto from 20,000 to 28,000 plus, just in literally a little over a week. There's no confidence in the system, but also like let them fail. Let these banks that are corrupt. Deutsche Bank's another one. And they have all these ties and money laundering and the whole everything else going on with the Epstein and everything and corruption. But here they are, on the phone with Janet Yellen, having meetings with Jerome Powell, saying, you know what, it's okay, you're going to be safe. Like, no.
It's really, the other thing, it's a crisis of talent. Jerome Powell is not fit for this job. He's the one that started throwing all this loose money out there,
Yep.
which led to venture capital firms having thousands of shitty startups with their bank accounts at Silicon Valley Bank. Imagine having 1,000 startups or more that are, you can't do an IPO in this market. You know what I mean? It's got to dry up and go away, and we'll start again another day. But it's time for a house cleaning of people and companies, really.
Well, we were having, I remember, like, look at this. This is Virgin Galactic Space, which makes no money, never will. It was a billionaire, Richard Brunson's little pet thing to go into space. It was $62. People were buying it, and the stock's worthless. It's going to be a zero. And that was a result. You had, what was it, Rivian, all these other companies. It was a result of, the stock was 179, my God. It was a result of all this free money that they created. They created all these, crypto millionaires and all these people who thought stocks were the best thing ever. And now it's like, nope, you created the bubble, you burst the bubble, and there's no accountability, which is just,
that's the sad part. But you know what the good part is? I always try to look for the silver lining in this. And I never trust these guys. I never did like them. But it's kind of sick to say this, but I like the volatility that's going to be in this market, because I like to sell options, and options prices are going to be going through the roof with this volatility.
well,
So
that's a big one thing. Look at the VIX. He had a 29 print this morning, 26 print. That's the thing, Jack, especially what you like to do. The VIX futures are down now %, but there is volatility, which, that is, if you're trading, I've been day trading a lot more just because I don't want to hold positions overnight. Right. But the volatility does bring opportunity.
Sure does. I'll tell you, when, that little 1 or 2 day thing I've been buying on the overreaction, like when a stock pops up higher, I buy a put,
Like a Roblox you mentioned.
Yeah, I did Roblox and I did CRM, and recently I did it backwards on Schwab. I'll tell you one thing, Schwab, people don't understand Schwab. Schwab makes all of its money from people that have cash in an account at Schwab that's getting 0% interest. So they're getting free assets that they could loan out for auto loans, more margin rates, anything at Schwab. Imagine having an asset you don't got to pay nothing for, and you could relend that thing out at a higher rate. That spread between paying a customer zero and what they can make, that's where Schwab makes their money. And old man Schwab, he would have put his own money on the line to see that thing not go down. So when it got down to like 52 or whatever, I sold a 45 put. I got paid way too much for that. And then when the stock bounced back higher, I covered that 45 short put. I couldn't believe they were paying for that.
Are you selling them naked, or are you doing a bull put credit?
Yeah, selling naked puts. Thinking if I went to 45, that ain't gonna happen, And I did it like 3 weeks out. So what was it? That was last week for April 17th. Yeah, March 17th, or I don't know what it was. Another short-term overreaction. This is where I'm finding these real short-term moves.
To give you an example, everyone, just Schwab for this Friday expiration, they're implying over a $6 move. So you're basically telling me Schwab is going to move around 12%, or so this week plus. Like, that's insane. And look at the volatility. You have the 47 puts, $10 out the money, or 60 cents.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
like, that's insane.
It is.
For a bank stock, which you would never have this kind of volatility. Like, I used to never trade the banks because they were boring. They never moved.
Yeah.
If you had a 1% move in a bank stock, it was like, oh wow, what a big move for JP Morgan or Wells Fargo.
Morgan
Now,
Stanley, 2 years.
yeah, a 1% move was a big deal. Now it's like, oh, the stock's only up 5%, it's only down 5%. That's nothing. You're not going to get.
Hey, Chris Brock, I got to tell you, selling naked puts is not only for the rich and famous. That's one of the biggest myths on Wall Street, Chris Brock. And I'm glad you brought that up, because selling naked puts is not only for the rich. You could do it in a cash account. You could do it on margin. If you do it on margin, you only got to put down 20%. That makes the yield super high. I did this in my IRA on a cash basis, and it was still great. Yeah, you just need to talk to your broker and get whatever level approval you need to do to sell naked puts. If you want to, you could always do it cash secured. Both are great, but yeah, it's not just for the rich and famous anymore, my man. I got a lot of people with $5,000-$10,000 cleaning up on naked puts.
Or what you could do, obviously, is, if you don't have, let's say, a big account, or obviously the broker doesn't approve you, you could always do like a bull put credit spread. I used to do a lot of bull put credit spreads to finance long calls.
Yeah,
That's what I used to do a lot of back in the.
it makes it real cheap to get into the trade.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because sometimes, or like when I had a real small account, just would do call spreads, just because I could trim down my overall net debit. That used to be good too. S&P catching a little bit of a bid here. We had a pretty crazy overnight session. I don't know if anyone caught it, but like when I checked the futures at 6 p.m. Eastern, they were up a little bit. We were up about 15 or so points in the S&P. And then when I checked early this morning, we were down. We printed down. We had a 70-point move in the S&P futures, and now we've had a 60-point rally off the lows. So this volatility ain't going nowhere. I'll tell you that.
What I think this whole year could kind of go sideways with volatility, like really no trend either way, just a ton of volatility. Yeah. But hey, check this out. Right when I was getting woke up, I didn't get a chance to check all the news, but FedEx was flashing like crazy. What happened with FedEx?
Oh, FedEx had earnings. They raised guidance Thursday. So Friday, it had a big move higher.
If this gap's open higher, I might buy a put there at the top. Where is it looking there now?
It's getting. Here's the only thing I would be a little cautious of. So we're back right at
yeah, that's not a good one.
The resistance. The only thing is you got the Fed Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everything we see today, if you're like, you have to think, if you're going to swing trade this market, you got to think, let's say you enter positions today. And you want to swing trade them. So let's say you want to hold them for like a week. Are you willing to take the risk of the Fed, of what direction? Because you got to figure, let me look right here. The market makers move in the S&P, pull it up here. If it will load, there we go. Oh my gosh, for this week, the market makers are implying about $115 move in the S&P. That's a big move.
Now, the thing about it is, when you see this implied pricing, what they're expecting a move of X amount of dollars, do you think that that's a good predictor, or you think these guys are just crazy?
Personally, I think, and you mentioned about selling ball, I personally think it's a little too high. But we got to realize there's been so much panic. I mean, we just saw a 60-point move in the S&P, right, already this morning. So you say that, and you say, well, is 115-point move that unrealistic between now and Friday? When I put it in that perspective, I say no. But in terms of a normal situation, if you told me the S&P was implying 115-point move for this week, I think you were a nutcase. I'd say, yeah, maybe you get 30, 40 points. Yeah. But that's how much panic there is, and so much, going into this Fed meeting. I mean, I think that's why Goldman Sachs came out and said the Fed won't raise rates this morning to try to cool
Goldman Sachs ain't Goldman Sachs anymore. that there's a tremendous lack of talent in that company. I don't believe in
Who
anything.
wants to go? Who wants to go work for a bank right now?
So let me ask you this. Do you think bank failures have anything to do with inflation? Or do you think Powell would stop raising rates because banks failed when it has nothing to do with him trying to tame inflation? Or is this just like a good time not to add a whole bunch of more volatility to the market by going up with another 0.5 point hike? Like the banks have him scared of making a hike.
Yeah, I think the banks have, because what was it? The mid-sized banks asked the Fed to backstop them basically and to FDIC insure everything. I think the banks are like, hey, we're losing a crap load of money and we're way behind and you're raising rates so fast, like you can't do this anymore. And then he's saying, well, I don't want to cause another financial crisis. I'm already seeing some of the cockroaches come out of the room already. I think it's a situation like that. I just think he prolonged the rate hike so long when they were kicking the can down the road that eventually, it's like let's say you get I don't know, a mole right on your arm or on your shoulder or something, and you say, that mole, it's red, but it's okay. And then a few weeks go by and now it's looking a little weird and the color's different. And then maybe a year goes by and you're like, man, maybe I should have removed that mole a year ago.
Yeah.
You should have raised rates a long time ago and been proactive. And now this has been a policy, now he's saying, oh, fuck, my mole's skin cancer, that's what's happening. And it's just pure panic. I mean, when's the last time you heard, oh, all these bankers are meeting over the weekend and providing liquidity and working on solutions to save the financial system? If this was known and if this was something that was planned, we would have never been to the situation that we were yesterday.
Yeah. Too much money years ago
Too much money.
Yeah, you look at some of these companies, these startups, like this just blows my mind. You look at some of the startups that some of these VC funds have. Maybe they got 1,000 of them. If you look at what they do, I still can't tell what half of them do. You know what I mean? They're not money making business. 1,000 startups that don't do anything. It's just it's such an excess of cash back then created so many problems we have yet to even figure out how to work our way out of it. But again, I don't care. I just like to react to what the market does. It doesn't matter to me who bails out who or who doesn't. My job is just to make some money for my family. So I just react to what all these fools do and find my spot. And my spot is going to be in selling options that are way overpriced this week.
I think that's very smart. I think you have to adapt to the market that's in front of you. And right now it is a high vol market. It's a short-term trading market. If you're trying to, and I've been saying this all year, but if you're trying to swing trade, like go with the trend or pick some, oh wow, this is a good stock, I'm going to buy and hold it, or I'm going to buy these calls that are, May expiration and ride it out. You're, very, very slim chance you're going to make money and be right. And even if you are right, it's probably going to take, days for that option, and you got to deal with option decay and everything else. It's swimming upstream without
market. We're not in that market. I used to buy and hold a stock while it would continue to trend, and it may continue to trend for weeks. Now I'm looking 3 days is my maximum horizon.
Yeah, you can't. There is no trend, right? There's literally nothing trending. The only thing trending, and I made note of this in my Telegram channel last week, was gold. Gold was around 1930, and I mentioned buying gold, and we got to move overnight over 2,000. But here's the thing though. Let's say you want to buy gold at 2,000, where everyone, obviously everyone's rushing to buy gold because the banking crisis. I mean, look at gold already reverse.
Yeah,
that's a 35-point move in gold. Just in a few hours. So, if you're trading like I had some gold call options, if you're trading them, it's very hard. Yeah, you had a 1, 2, 3 day move, 4 day move, but it's very hard to hold on to them after you get, a big move.
No reason to. Once you got a profit, you got to take it this
Take
day.
it, move on.
It's the best part about trading is taking a profit, folks. Don't ever forget that.
No, it's not about being right, because you could be right and then the stock goes against you or something, but you could be right. Oh, I was right about the Fed, they're doing this. But unless you're making money and unless you're actually taking those profits and putting them in your account, who cares? You can be right twice out of 10 times, but the 2 times you're right, let's say you make uh, $100, the 2 times you're right, and the 8 times you're wrong, you lose $20, then you still made money.
And even when I'm right, I'm not totally right. I never pick the top or the bottom. And I think anybody that tells you that is bullshitting you. But yeah, I don't want to be right. I just want to make money. That's my kids, my grandkids don't ask me, Papa, were you right? They want to say, Papa, can you take me to the movies? So, what I mean?
Exactly. They say, oh, well, you were right, and you drive a Toyota Camry,
Yeah.
but but you made money in the markets, and now you got us a new Escalade with a TV in the back.
Yeah, that Apple Watch, little Jack, let's go get it. You know what I mean? Or taking him out for some little fake ass smartwatch. It cost $9 because Pop was right, but he didn't make money. No, I want to be on the money side.
Oh God, Jack, what do you have upcoming? I'm gonna go upstairs a little bit and get
Me
back.
and you tomorrow. We got to get me and you tomorrow. I'm gonna go through my number one strategy, my number one money making strategy of all time tomorrow. I'm gonna tell everybody about it and how it works and why I love it and why it's perfect for this market.
And give me a little preview, because I'll be on at, what time is it? 1 o'clock with you?
I think it's 1 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, me and you, and a little bit. It's all about selling premium in a way that you can't get hurt too bad. So I've been doing this for over 10 years. I do it every week, every single week, no matter what. And it's all about we don't buy a share of stock. We just use a real slick little trade, and it is never going away. It's been working for 10 straight years, and it's going to continue. The more volatility we get, the better it works, because it's not based on directional bias.
Yeah. So what you're doing, and you can see volatility just in the past, couple of weeks, we've seen volatility, in the S&P, and again, so this is going to affect all the stocks out there. Volatility has gone up about what, 50% or so, a massive implied volatility increase in the not 50%, pardon me, about 25% in the S&P options. So when volatility rises, historically, you want to sell volatility. When volatility is low, you want to buy volatility, right? So you'll be going over that. I mean, look at the VIX there. That's a good indication, right?
I just tell you, like the last 2 weeks, what I normally would have made maybe 5% on a trade, now the same trade can yield between 8 and 9%, and that's only because the price of the options has gone through the
Exactly. That's 100% exactly what's happening right now. I see it because I primarily trade order flow, and sometimes I'll be like, oh my gosh, how are the Boeing options, or how are the Goldman Sachs, or how are the Apple options so expensive?
I know GE options were going crazy last week or something. It's on GE, the most boring stock on the planet. God. But that's what the market we have, folks. And so what I try to do is I don't worry about a bull market, a bear market. I don't care. I just try to find my little edge and make a few couple shekels where I can. And that's what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe if someone in the chat can post the link to get signed up for tomorrow, but me and Jack will be on. I know I'll be doing an intro, and I'll be doing the Q&A with you, Jack, at I think 1 p.m. it should be. So if we have someone in the chat, maybe they could post a link to get everyone signed up for it. I know we'll be talking and getting a little bit more in details tomorrow, so that will be cool. And I don't know if we have anyone on. Do we have anyone posting the link? I don't know if we have anyone working this early, Jack. But I gotta run upstairs though, because I got to trade and get on my trading machine. I don't know if we do.
We'll have
Maybe.
some. If not, watch for it in your email because I'm sure they're
Yeah.
gonna let you.
Yeah, that's usually the best option. And I get like all the text message alerts and stuff like that too signed up. I'm sure they'll get something like that as well.
Have a good day, my man.
Thank you, Jack. Thanks everyone. And
Talk to you soon. Tomorrow.
see you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.